From Los Angeles, California, we've got Supreme Cerebral, an incredible lyricist, prolific artist. He has a new album out entitled Son of Hannibal. We're going to bring him in and talk to him about his new album, other projects that he's worked out, recent performances, and more. Let's bring him in.
Yeah, peace.
Peace, my bro. How you doing?
Doing good, man.
So much to talk to you about, man. I want to jump into Son of Hannibal, an incredible project. You always deliver, but
Word.
this joint with you and Swab is incredible. How did you come up with the name Son of Hannibal?
Hannibal is one of the greatest warriors, leaders that they don't really talk about. They also depict him as a European cat too, because they always try to take the blacks out of history. And I always try to do something to have a black empowerment. Most of my covers and stuff like that, it always has to do with the ancient civilizations and whatnot. So it was just feeling like I was the man, you know what I mean? Pretty much like I'm the son of a great man. My father passed a couple of years too, so it was kind of paying homage to him. And it had a lot of meaning, you know what I'm saying? But I had always wanted to name something that, so I had the opportunity to do it.
I think it's a really dope concept, man, because you're right. Hannibal slept on.
Super. And they don't talk about how much he conquered or how much he was worth and what he did, you know what I mean? So and I think that's because they like to take the history out of history.
Yeah. I heard some crazy statistic like he had so many offspring that there's like an actual percentage of the population that are descendants of Hannibal
Exactly.
because he raped and pillaged. It wasn't all nice.
No. I mean, but that was the times back then. It was to conquer. That's what they did. You know what I mean? That was going on everywhere, though. That wasn't
For
just
sure.
on. Yeah, that was going on across the whole world. It's still going on. It's just going on in a different way. You know
Hey,
what I mean? It's more of a psychological warfare now
it really is,
than it is
man.
a physical. So yeah. It's just I had, like I said, I had always wanted to name something that and that album, just the way it came together, I thought it was a good concept. And I asked Swab what he thought, and he was like, I like it. So
Yeah,
I was like, word.
yeah, it's super dope. That warrior vibe. Uh, you see that theme throughout like different projects. Um,
Right.
your lyrics are intense at times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
shoot you in the Forerunner dressed in Ralph Lauren. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You always got the
I always felt like an old warrior, you know what I mean? Like an ancient warrior type,
yeah,
Like I had always had that vibe, always. So that's why
yeah,
I always incorporate it into my music, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I feel like I would have been on some battlefield swinging an axe, or you know what I mean?
Well, you a big dude too.
Yeah, so
You knocked somebody
I
out
always
in
had
real
that feeling.
life.
And I've always been aggressive, so like I've always had that feeling, you know what I mean? That's
You got
why
that.
I
You got
work
that.
out stuff now.
It's one of going through your discography and preparing for the interview. I listened to a little bit more Preem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there's that one lyric you got, which is drink all the henny, jump off the stage and battle and beat up every attendee.
Oh yeah.
Something like you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Lyrics are
Yeah. What I
crazy.
talk about, I'll beat up all the attendees. Yeah. Yeah. I, I'm psycho like that. You know what I mean?
That goes hard.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. I like aggressive shit. I've always been aggressive. You know what I mean? Like that's just my personality. I'm a Taurus, so I'm a natural like bull. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I'm very calm, very very calm. Calculated. You know,
yeah. Until
I
you're
don't
not
I don't let too much get me off my my stable. But if I go that direction, it's gonna go that direction.
all the way.
Yeah, and in my
Yeah,
music, it's an excuse to get that off my chest.
yeah, yeah. And you're super lyrical, and hip hop lyrics are very visual. So that combination.
Yeah, and that's me being a product of know, 90s golden era hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's being, you know, you could see the lyrics and Nas's lyrics. It's like watching a movie. You close your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wu-Tang lyrics. You know what I mean? Wu-Tang brought that element of you could say whatever you want and you could do whatever kind of structure you want. Like there's 16 hook, 16 hook. You know what I mean? There's no structure, and I like to do that in my music. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't always want to have a hook, a 16, a hook. Like sometimes I want to rap longer, or Kush might want to rap for 6 hours on a song. You know what I mean? like
Yeah.
we have that where it doesn't matter because now we're not being ran and told by a corporation what we can and cannot do. You know what I mean? And I don't have to produce a hit single. You know what I mean? Even though
Yeah.
I feel like if this was the 90s, a lot of dudes would have a lot of good
For
singles
sure.
that would have bought.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But now that we're in this weird climate where it's oversaturated and everything, it's harder for that to manifest.
Yeah, that's a good point. Speaking of the storytelling on the new album, Son of Hannibal, available everywhere now, there's a track called Got a Story to Tell.
Yeah.
Right? That joint is a banger. You tell many stories in that joint. Can you unpack that joint for us?
So I try like every couple of albums to do conceptual joints, especially if I'm doing an album with like one
Mm,
producer. I want
mm.
to have some conceptual joints. I don't want to just rap. And I've always been pretty good at telling stories. Like I got a bunch of story tracks, and every one of them hit pretty well.
Yeah.
A track called Muerte, produced by my man Fit. That's really really dope. You know what I mean? I started writing stories before I was doing hip hop. So like I was writing little short stories, little novels or whatever. I have always been a writer. So, you know, that just makes me want to write stories. And I know that that's like a lost art, number one. And it's very difficult to write good stories on tracks where they make sense and, you know, everything connects. It's pretty hard, bro. It takes a lot of thought process and like you got to make sure it all makes sense, right? Because you can't have like holes and where it's just random and a bunch of weird shit going on. You know what I mean? We got a story to tell. I had an old song that I never put out that I was listening to, and it had that same kind of concept. There was a bunch of little short stories.
Oh, that's why, because you've got characters and
Yeah.
like you tell
So
their age and where they're from, and
yeah.
then
So I took those. I took a couple of those, reworded it a little bit, and then I threw in a couple more. And I was like, I don't even know if people will like this song. Like, but
it's
I just want,
dope.
yeah, and it's my most streamed song off the album so far on Spotify. And
Wow.
people hit me up all the time, like, yo, God, Storytell's crazy. And I was just like, I wrote that shit fast because, like I said, I already had a song with that concept. And I just took little parts of that song and then added it to the new song. Because no one had ever heard the old version. So that's how that shit came about. And I didn't even think it was gonna bubble like that. Like, you know, those are the kind of ones where you're like, I don't know if this shit's gonna be good. Like some of the songs on there, I'm like, the ones that are streaming high, I'm like, I didn't even think those were gonna be the ones that people gravitated towards. You know what
That's
I mean?
crazy.
I thought it was gonna be Sins of the Father, War of the Worlds with Alphabetic. Like those are like my favorite joints off the album.
Yeah.
So I thought those were gonna do
And
way
they're
better.
dope. And they're dope.
Right,
And you got the
right.
visual for it too.
But it's like the other songs that are actually bubbling. So like it's kind of dope, you know what I mean? It's doing well. Like I couldn't believe it when I looked at the Spotify. It had like 30,000 already in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was doing
It's
well. You know what I mean?
it's I mean, when it comes to this independent game, you're at the tippy top, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So
and it's fun. You know, I just like making music. We were sitting on that album for like a year.
with Swab, you and Swab
We
had
were
that,
supposed to put it out last year at the end of the year. We were supposed to put it out in summer. We didn't do it. We were supposed to put it out in the end of the year. So I ended up putting out Clark's 3 in the summer,
yeah.
and um, you know, I was like, all right, I bet we could do it in the wintertime last year. Didn't happen. And then I was like, fuck it, let's just wait till January. Drop that shit like to the beginning of
Yeah.
the year.
Start the
I
year
didn't think
off with a project.
right, and I didn't think I'll just be real, bro. I didn't think that shit was gonna be as impactful as it's been. You know what I mean? Like, cause I have all these other albums that I've been listening to, because I had listened to that for like a year before we put it out. So I got all these other albums now that I'm sitting on that I'm listening to, and I'm like, oh, these are gonna be dope, you know what I mean? But you just never know, like what albums people are gonna gravitate towards. I just think that this album was some real boom bap shit. It was
Yeah.
like some hip hop shit. So people were like, oh, this is
Yeah.
dope, you know. And
Yeah.
Rob did that shit fast, and we had complications doing it. Like me and him got into arguments and shit. Like it's mostly my fault, you know what I mean? Because I'm a hard person to work with, because I do everything myself. So to give somebody else the
Like some of the creative aspects.
yeah, so to give him like the creative advantage over me had me a little vexed. I can't even
Yeah.
lie. And if you ever interview him, he'll tell you, he'll be like, yeah, Preem was being a dick. Because I was, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was like, nah, this shit got to sound like this. I got to have my shit sound like this. Like, I'm very meticulous when it comes to what I want out of my
Yeah.
music. That's why all my albums are pretty, you know, high level shit, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, he did his fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Swab, man. He did his
Yeah.
fucking thing. He wanted to do the album. He had asked me. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because he's such a dope DJ. So, excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just dude is incredible. You know what I mean? And it was I was glad that I think all the back and forth and the
Yeah.
of it.
At somewhere the end product that came out of was this dope ass product.
Right. And I think that's because we had so much passion in it, you know what I mean? And we both wanted it to be dope as fuck. And you know, he had done music with a lot of dope people
Yeah,
already.
he's super established, incredible producer, and so are you. So it's really interesting when you get like somebody like Swab and you get somebody like Preem, put it together and see what comes out.
Yeah. And shout out to him for letting me put it in order.
Oh, that's interesting too, because that's critical.
Right. I put pretty much all my albums in order. We had a song, the song with Ralphie,
Yeah.
the Dark Seance joint. There's a whole nother version of that Swab scratched and he didn't like the beat. And I love the beat. And that's what we had arguments over that shit. And I'm like, yo, like that's
Yo,
not the way.
that's gotta be like on like the 12-inch, or that's gotta be something somewhere.
Yeah, well, he just don't want to put it out. Like I wanted to put it on the CD, and he was like, "Don't do it, Preem." He was like, "For me, don't do it." I'm like, "All right," you know what I mean? Like I couldn't argue with
That's
him about it. I
so
don't
crazy
like
how
him.
passionate you both are that he's like, because it must be dope. It's just not up to his what he wants.
That shit was crazy in my eyes. I ain't even gonna hold you. I listen to it every once in a while, and I'm like, "This shit is fucking
That
fire." But you know,
thinking to watch, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people drop an album like 5 years later and it's like lost tapes in dusty crates or some shit like that. This
right,
ain't gonna be on there.
yeah. And I have, you know, like that's how Loose Change ends up. Like I do the
Uh-huh.
Loose Changes because of that. I'll have so many leftover songs or songs that I just put out as singles or songs that didn't make albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how Loose Change comes about every 3 or 4 years.
That's on Loose Change 3.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. I haven't even started thinking about. I thought about the artwork
Yeah.
like 2 days ago because I was working on art and I was like, yo, I gotta make something dope for Loose Change 3. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I gotta keep the same black and white theme. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
like that. I like conceptual albums like that. You know what I mean?
Oh
That's why
yeah.
Sparks is a lot of fun to do with Kush and
Yeah.
Clipto because it's all conceptual, and we know what kind of beats we're gonna pick, and we know like what we're gonna talk about and all that shit. So it always
Yeah.
comes out dope.
Yeah. That's really good, man. How did you connect with Swab? How'd that happen?
Oh man, he had reached out. I think he had did a compilation.
Mm-hmm.
He had reached out and was like, yo, and I laced this compilation, and then he mixed together Broken English.
Oh, got it.
So that's produced by Chuck Chan, but Swab mixed that album together. He
Got
also
it.
did I believe Wrong Streets and Big Ghost joint.
Got it.
He did their joint. So he does shit like that where he'll like mix the album together, make it sound like a tape, like a DJ tape. And I liked what he did. After we had did Broken English, he was like, "Bro, you want to do this album. I'm gonna send you some beats. And I didn't even know he made beats.
That's so crazy.
Like,
Where's Swab at? Is he in Germany?
he's in Copenhagen, I believe.
Okay.
He's in Denmark.
He's in Denmark.
Yeah, so I didn't even know he made beats. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That happens a lot with DJs. I'll just think they're a DJ and then they'll be like, yo, I got beats. And I'm like, oh shit, word. You know what I mean? Like, and then when I heard his beats, I was like, oh, you got heat. Like, you got
he really does.
Yeah, he had crazy shit. And
he's got good samples.
A lot of those beats were a little bit more barren too, like when I recorded on him. And then he added shit and did shit.
Oh, that's dope.
So like, yeah, he made that album come together. Like, he mixed and mastered Son of Hannibal. He did everything on that end. He did all the scratches. He did everything on that end. And that was a blessing because I didn't have to go and get it mixed and mastered.
One, and you don't got to track down a DJ because, you know, some songs you hear a DJ on it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go find, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't have to.
He's got it.
All I had to do was rap. And that was like, I mean,
yeah, I got this.
That's the easiest part. Like, I knocked out an album with my man Banish Habitual. We're going to drop this year. We knocked that out in like a week.
That's
crazy. We did 10 joints in a week, but that's nothing. That's like 2 verses a day, and that's regular if you're writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just knocked it out. Went back and forth. We got Chaos and Crypto produced the whole thing. So that's coming out this year. I got a joint with Mac Capella completely finished. He's from Scotland. Scotland producer. He does a lot of shit with Huss.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Huss Kingpin.
I got an album complete with him. That's very conceptual. A lot of conceptual joints on there. Female tracks, female oriented tracks on there as well. Like, you know, not love songs, but you know, fly shit.
Listen, I listen to your lyrics. I know what you be talking about.
Yeah, fly. You know
what I mean? You talking about that strong man.
Yeah. You know, pimp shit. My father was a player. You know what I mean? So
no doubt.
I was Rolling Stone. You know what I mean? So like, I got the game young.
Yeah, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
I mean, my uncles is wild. Like we got the game. I mean, so I did a lot of shit like that on that album. That album's really dope. I mean, in my eyes, but you know, I might put it out. It might not do that well. You know what I mean? But I think it's really, really dope. So I think I'm gonna drop that next.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's gonna be 4 or 5 albums this year.
Yeah, cause last year you went easy on us. But you know, a light year for you was like what, you know, some people drop an album every 2 years.
Right.
So a 2 album in 1 year is kind of like you let everybody else breathe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I only did group projects last year.
That's right. Cause you did Golden Pyramids.
Gold Pyramids, and then I did Clark's 3.
Yeah, Clark's 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was all to give my brother shine.
Yeah.
And I had albums. That's what I'm saying. I had albums.
You had this dope ass album.
Yeah, I had it sitting there, but I was just like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? I wasn't. There wasn't a lot going on last year either.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bunch of shows. You know, it was very light last year. So this year, I figured I would just come with the momentum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just kind of set the precedence real quick, like boom. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be here all year. And then I got Ralphie Reese from Dark Unit.
Yeah.
He's all year. Kush dropping all year. You know what I mean? So like we're trying to get whole
team.
That's what I tell him. I'm like, just move. Like, doesn't matter if there's hate, if there's anything. Like, who cares, bro? Like, there's gonna be people that fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, we might not be top tier guys selling out in seconds, doing all that crazy shit, but you know what, bro? Eventually, people are gonna catch on to this dope music.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time, bro, that people are gonna catch on and be like, what the hell? I've been missing on all this shit. You know what I mean? So it's good. You know what I mean? I like that feeling. You know what I mean? Some guys just get lucky, bro. They put themselves in good positions, or they collab with certain artists that are like, you know, popping or whatever, you know what I mean? So that their shit goes like this faster. And I tell them, don't get discouraged if it's not moving. Just put it out. Like, who cares, bro? Like, just put that shit out so it's there in the universe. You know, you never know, bro. Like, some shit you did 5 years ago, somebody might catch and be like, yo, and then buy your whole catalog. Like, boom, you know,
all at once.
Exactly. And that shit happens to me a lot where people will hit my Bandcamp and buy everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just they got to discover you. You know what I mean? But if you're not gonna pay a bunch of money to get discovered, you got to do it the hard way. You got to put in the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The
that's what I tell them. I'm like, just move all year. We're just gonna move. The Dark Unit shit is just gonna move.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and I'm thinking 5 albums. So I already put one out. I got the Macapella joint. I got the joint with Banish. And then I got this EP with Architect from San Francisco.
All right.
Yeah, dope ass Architect. He used to he produced for a lot of legends in the 90s, like Bay Area artists.
Yeah.
Hieroglyphics and all that shit.
Yeah.
He DJed. Yeah, he's their tour DJ. I got an EP with him that's crazy, and it's like a group EP kind of, because it's a bunch of features and like 2 solo joints. It's only 6 songs, but it's right. It's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. It could be more songs, but y'all kept it like.
I put out that Build and Destroy joint with Alphabetic. That's off that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that single is off that album. Just it's a bunch of hard shit, just crazy shit. And then I got a joint with the Beat Junkies.
What is it? A single or is it a project?
It's a project. It's got Babu, Red, D Styles, like 4 or 5 of them produced tracks on the album. And they're all doing their cuts. Every beat that they did, they're doing the cuts on it. So I got cuts from Babu, I got cuts from Red. Yeah, they're putting it together though. So
you gotta wait till see when it's done.
I'm just being patient.
You're just like
Red. I seen Red talk to him not that long ago, and he was like, "Don't even trip, Preem." He was like, "It's coming." He had sent me some refs that he did cuts on the joints, and I was like, "Wow, he's a dope." And I gave that album to them like a year and a half ago. So
yeah.
I'm just waiting on that. But he said, I talked to Ray. He was like, this year. It's coming out this year. So I was like, okay.
So with that one, that's 5 right there.
That's 5, yeah.
And it's January.
Yeah. So I got all that finished. I'm working on an LP with this cat no one really knows. I'm not even gonna say his name.
If you don't say his name, nobody's gonna know him even more.
Exactly. I'll wait till the album come out to promote him. But I don't want nobody jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because that's what these rappers will do. They'll go and be like, "Oh, let me hit him up and get," you know what I mean? I already got my beat, so I ain't really worried about all that. But yeah, he has some crazy shit that
It's almost like when you dig for crates. It's like similar when you're going through producers that people don't. There's the producers everybody knows, and then you discover one, right?
Right. And I'm gonna put out a good amount of singles. I got 2 singles sitting there, like Lucy's, you know what I mean? One my man Born Unique from Virginia.
I know about Born Unique. He's dope. I think that you and Born Unique on the same track is gonna be amazing because of that.
Well,
he's intense.
We have a lot of songs together. Shout out to the Grime Lords. Him and P Twist, that's my peoples. I seen P Twist in Orlando. He was at Thirstin Howl thing.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so I got to build with him in a physical. I haven't built with him like that. We just build over FaceTime or talking shit on the phone. But those are my kind of people, like shit talkers, like funny motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Real, they've gone through real shit too. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And Twist kept pushing me before I went on stage. He was like, when they gonna let you rap? When they gonna rap? Like, kept fucking with me, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get my thoughts together, you know what I mean? Because we about to.
Well, you got to be in the right mindset, and you're around a bunch of spitters too.
And he's over there pushing me and shit, like fucking making me laugh and shit. And I was like, I needed that energy, you know. It was good energy. But shout out to both of them. I got shit with Twist too, mad shit with Twist.
That's dope.
That we're gonna put out. We talked about doing the album and shit, and I was like maybe next year. I got so much shit, you know. I don't want to oversaturate it.
Yeah, and you want to give everything its proper rollout and
right. And me and Demar, I seen Demar last 2 weeks ago at my man's engagement party. Shout out my man Malcolm. Yeah, I seen him and he was like, "Yo, we gotta do Soul Train 2." And I was like, "Yeah, we gotta do that."
Soul
you know
Train.
What I mean? Yeah,
Soul Train.
Soul Train 2. Yeah, we gotta do that. That's my #1 streamed album.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my #1 streamed album. That's my view wise, like on videos and everything. That's my number one album.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he
the
has
song.
such an incredible discography, so to narrow it down to that album as the,
Right,
you're
right.
like, what? We got to bring this magic
Yeah,
chemistry back together.
that and Gaddafi. When I put out Gaddafi, I think that's 2018. Um, both of those are like, as far as the streaming and like what people know me for, like is would be a classic
Yeah.
in their eyes. It's usually those two albums.
Yeah.
But I have so much shit too that's not on streaming that I wouldn't let people put on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like Ultimate Mind. Ultimate Mind is a crazy album. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know about it because it's not on streaming. It's not on YouTube. You can't. Nobody bootlegged it. I made sure of that. I was like, cease and desist, all that. You know, there's certain albums where I'm like, you got to buy the physical.
Got
You,
it.
you know what I mean? And I do that every couple of albums. I'll do that where I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna be on stream. You know what I mean? This is gonna
You
be
buy
like me and
the physical. You got to buy the physical in person
like me
or
and
on Bandcamp.
me and Dirty Digs album. You know what I mean? Bro, you have to have that vinyl or that CD. Like you can't. That shit is nowhere. That shit is not streamed nowhere. And people ask me all the time, yo, you should put that shit on streaming. You should put that, and I'm like, nope. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those albums you got to buy the physical. You know, and I like doing that because that's for your core audience. You know what I mean? Like not just a casual listener.
Yeah.
That's like your core audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Special.
I want them to have something special.
That's
You know
dope.
what
That's
I mean? So
dope.
that's why I do shit like that. I'm gonna probably do that with one of the albums this year. I don't know which one, but you know what I mean? Me and Banish definitely gonna be on the streaming sites because we're not even gonna do physicals for that. We did that album so fast and just because I was like, fam, we've been rhyming together forever. I was like, let's just
Bro, people ain't gonna believe us. We're like, how we gonna do this?
I'm like, we've been on Shade 45 together. I'm like, we've been travel together. We've done it all. I'm like, let's just make this album happen real quick.
That's dope.
And he was like, yep. You know what I mean? It's just perfect timing. You know, and I could write fast if I'm focused on something real quick. You know,
Yeah.
I could write fast. I got like 16 joints with Clipto just sitting there too.
That's so crazy.
And
And what's really cool about albums is when you lock in with a producer or another MC and you bang it out, and it's like that moment in time, that feeling, what was going on in the world, what you were going on with in your life. It's kind of captured, it's encapsulated because it's not over a long period of time. It's like that week that you did that with Banish, like that's that week of y'all's lives.
yeah, and you could look back and be like, I remember writing
Yeah.
that, you know, because some albums wrote like within like a 6-month span, so you don't remember all the sessions. You know what I mean? Like you just like there's some songs I'm like, I don't even remember writing that shit. You know what I mean? Like you get lost like that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're in a bunch and you just write, like, because I'm not afraid to use the same word. There's some dudes that they won't do that.
Yeah,
You know
I know what you're talking about.
They pride themselves on that, and that's actually really, really dope to not ever use the same rhyme. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I won't use the exact same rhyme, but I'll use a word that rhymes with a word I've already rhymed with.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to do that type of shit. Some people just don't do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that's why I could write more. Because I'm like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you know, like I could still rhyme,
Yeah.
you know, rhyme and time.
Like you talk a certain way, you're going to express yourself that way, right?
Right.
Some other cats are like super lyrical. So they're looking for ever increasingly more complex and unique words that nobody's used. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, I think I do have a lot of words that people don't necessarily say in rhymes a lot. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
Types of shit. But I don't, it's not a conscious effort. You know what I mean? I'm not going out of my way to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not going out of my way to try to be super lyrical. I'm not going out of my way to see if you will get the double entendres and you know, like people that pick bars out like that and do that shit, like that's not for me. I don't give a shit about none of that. I don't write thinking, oh, this part rhyme with this part, that rhyme with this part, that rhyme with this. Like I don't think like that. Because when you're writing, you're just writing. You know what I mean? Like it's just sporadic thoughts that are coming to your brain, you know what I mean? And then you're like, is that dope? Is it not dope?
That's good.
You know what I mean? Like some shit I'm like, I don't know, is this dope? You know what I mean? So I gotta ask people like, is this funny? Like, would you laugh? And sometimes like, cause I write shit I think I'm amusing. And I say
Yeah.
like jokingly that people probably think is serious. You know what I mean? But I'll say it like when I'm writing it and I'm thinking about it, like I'm thinking about it jokingly. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, I make myself laugh. And I'm
You
like, I
do. You
wonder
got a lot of lines like
and I'm
that.
like, I wonder if anybody else would laugh. You know what I mean? And then when people tell me like, yo, that shit was funny as fuck when you said did it, I'll be like, okay, word. You
Yeah,
know
like,
what I
all
mean?
right,
Like
you get it. You
then I'm
get
like,
it.
okay, they get it. You know what I mean? But a lot of people just think it's all serious. Like, it's just, you know what I
Well,
mean? And
because you drop so much knowledge, right? Like, think about the opening of Sins of the Father, right? You're like Cleopatra was of Greek descent. Like, you're like coming in where like people are like, you're shattering,
and,
you're shattering
and
ideas.
uh, that's me reading or like watching crazy podcasts of like all these historians. Like I watch crazy conspiracy, wild, like, cause I love shit
Me
like that. Cause I'm
too, bro. I be deep in that. Sometimes I'm like, put on the Anunnaki. Like, I need to know, because I know maybe not everything's, 100%, but some of that is.
and I feel like you take whatever you feel as your individual for what you think is real and what you don't think is real.
Yeah.
And I don't think everybody's individual is going to be the same. And that's why we be beefing over religion and all that shit,
Yeah.
because people just don't let people be. You know,
Mm.
just let people be. Like, who cares what they believe in? You know what I mean? Like, we're all the same people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And at the end of the day, all the ideologies fall back to like this same creation.
That's good.
So it's, it's just interpreted it different through different cultures and, shit like that. You know what I mean? Of course, they're going to interpret it differently. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Of course, there's going to be different names, but it's all basically the same story. You know what I mean? And with conspiracy shit, like, sometimes I just think they're trying to tell you, but they have to do it in a way where it makes it feel like it's conspiracy, but they're really trying to tell you the truth. Like, this shit's
Mm.
right here in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer in that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that's the Cleopatra was a Greek descent. I watched a whole like fucking episode on this dude that broke down her whole fucking
Genealogy, right?
genealogy.
Because I
Yeah,
knew I knew about that because she's a descendant of Ptolemy, who was
yeah,
one of Alexander the Great's generals. Who, when Alexander's empire collapses, he
yes,
went and took Egypt because he's
yeah.
smart. You know what I'm saying?
And then he tried to go back home and build like his form of Egypt in Alexandria, and the buildings are all fucked up. You can go Google that shit. You can go Google
That's
that now. Yeah,
crazy.
go Google Alexandria, and it'll show you all the fucked up structures because he didn't have the technology that built the pyramids, right?
Yeah,
He was a naive conqueror who
yeah.
thought, I'm gonna go take over and then they're gonna teach me the ways. Like, no, that's a ancient
That,
celestial.
there's some, and I don't know what the years are, but my understanding is that Cleopatra, where she's at in history, she's closer to our current age right now
Right,
than she was to when the pyramids were built. She
right.
don't know where those came from either.
No,
That is
no,
that's when we get into the Anunnaki.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's the Gigis, the Anunnakis.
That,
That's that.
that's the real tech right there that we still trying to figure out.
That's the giants, right?
Yeah, bro. Talk that talk, Preem.
But like Cat Williams said, he said the pyramids is nothing but a spaceship. You know what I mean? And they didn't have fire. They weren't lighting their tongue. That shit was all electric in there. Like, that's how they had a civilization inside of there. That's why that shit goes fucking so far deep that it does. You know what I mean? All the pyramids. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't walking around with little torches. Like, there was an advanced civilization that had everything that we have now, but advanced.
Yeah,
We haven't gotten there yet. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because we're the children of them. You know what I mean? They made us in their likeness, right? So like, we're but as you can see, every year that technology that we have now starts to get more and more crazy.
yeah,
And in the next 20, 30 years, I mean, there's no telling what we're gonna see, right?
yeah, bro.
Um,
Yeah.
my mom always says, she's like, I mean, she's a little bit older. I don't want her, right? I don't want her to die. But she goes, well, I hope I don't live long enough to see all this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
Because she's from an
what
older time.
right? What's coming is, well, to give an example, like I used to go outside and play, right?
Yeah,
My kids today see things on their
right.
phone that,
Well,
but at
you
the
could
same
drive
time,
down.
I want them to be advanced and able to like navigate the digital world. So you're kind of in the catch
They're
22.
born into it though. If you notice, the younger kids, they're born into technology, so they automatically know how to use phones, iPads, computers. It's just embedded in what they are now. It's in their system
Yeah.
because we've had it for so long now that these 10-year-olds, 5-year-olds, they're
Yeah.
advanced, right, in technology because we come from it, but they're also see they're advanced in technology, but they're also very soft, and
Mm,
they take everything very personally because
mm,
things right in front of them. Social media makes shit right in front of you,
yeah.
right? So anybody could say anything, and these people will just believe it without proper validation.
That's
You know what
good,
I mean?
man.
But you could say anything you want. Like people can defame your name. I've had a person do that to me, try to defame my name. But like there's paperwork and there's things that prove things that are, real and not real. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the internet has just made these kids overthink themselves.
And that online reality is so real to
It's
them.
real.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas if I get upset about something, I put my phone away, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like
It's like I'm good.
on the internet can bother me, bro. You could say anything you want about me. That shit'll never bother me because I know who the person I am. Everybody who loves me knows the person I
That's
am.
good, man.
And so like that outside, that's just the devil talking to you, bro. That's just a
Mm,
new form of the devil trying to manipulate how you feel and your vibrations and your frequencies. Right. But if your vibration, your frequency is high, man, that should go right out the
right, and
window.
slide right
Yeah,
off.
just slides right off, bro.
Yeah.
And like when I see my nephews, I have great
Yeah.
nephews, bro.
Yeah.
9 and 10. Like
So
it's hard to get them to go outside.
yeah, bro.
Like, and I would tell them, yo, I jumped off the roof when I was your age. Yo, we was beating up kids when I was your age. Like
Yeah.
we was the other apartments or the other little hood. We was fighting them kids. Like we was throwing oranges and shit at each other, like lemons at
Yeah.
each other. Like it was while we was breaking windows. We was outside. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like we was outside. Like we
For
got
real.
wasps. We got stung by bees. We put
We
rock.
scraped our knees, right? We scraped our knees. We got on a bike and we went where we weren't supposed to go.
Bro, you went so far, and then you seen when it started getting dark, you were like, I gotta go. Like
Yeah.
before my dad whistles and starts screaming,
Yeah.
aiming all that shit down the block, like I gotta get home, bro, because
Yeah.
I'm a ass
Yeah.
whooping. And
Shit.
you can't
Spank your
whoop,
kids today.
can't whoop no more. You know what I mean? Hey, my little great nephews get out of line to my niece, bro. You know what I mean? I'll snatch them. Come here.
Yeah.
I come from that old school. I'm not gonna hit them because they're not my kids, but I'll snatch a motherfucker up real quick and shake the shit out of them. You know what I mean? Like,
You're a shaker.
get your mind right, bro. Who you talking to? You know what I mean? But they see things on the internet and they think that shit is real.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be a YouTuber, I'm like, bro, you don't want to do that. Like, but for his whole life, he's a very smart kid. He's skipped grades and all that shit.
Yeah.
He's always wanted to be a
Yeah.
doctor. All,
Yeah.
since since I met him when he was like 5,
Yeah.
he's wanted to be a doctor, right? Um, and then I went out there a couple months ago to see them, and he talking about he want to be a YouTuber. And shit. I'm like, what happened to being a doctor? He was like, I don't know. And I'm like, nah, get on that path, bro. Get on the doctor path. It's a much better path than you being a
It's
YouTuber.
probably gonna
I didn't,
work out better.
I didn't want to crush his dreams, but I'm like, bro, you ain't got enough personality to be one of them kids. Like you gotta be outgoing as fuck to be one of them kids, and to get people to engage with you and want to watch your videos of you fucking playing with toys and shit. I'm like, come on, bro. I was just trying to be real with his little ass.
You told him
He
that?
didn't take it well, but I was just trying to be real with him. I'm like, bro, you're better off being a doctor. I was like, you know how much money a doctor makes?
Yeah.
What the fuck we talking about here?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
but the instant gratification,
That's the thing, man. That's
you
the
know,
instant gratification and the inability to withstand and adversity of any
right,
kind.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So those two, they go together: instant
right,
gratification and low tolerance for
right.
adversity. you got to go through things in life to achieve great things.
Wow.
You
Like
know?
they be like my nephew missed the ball a couple times, and he's like, "I'm going in the house." I'm like, "What?" Like, now stay your ass out here till you hit the ball.
Yeah.
Like, what? Get mad. Like, show aggression. Like, show some passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but they just be like, "I'll just go lose my brain in this computer, like in the
Yeah.
game." Right?
Yeah.
They do that. Their escape is like a video game. They just go escape into this little world that's not real.
Yeah.
Damn, get over that. You know what I mean? But
That's
that's
good.
so you know what I mean from our
The generational difference. Yeah.
right, and you have to kind of be compassionate to their new situations, right? Because it's just not the same, I guess.
That's true.
But I try to get them to go outside, man. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
we gonna go outside. Like
That's
it's
good, man.
freezing cold too. They live in Utah. It was freezing cold. It was like 30 degrees outside. But I'm like, this is when I want to be outside. Like
Yeah.
as a little kid, that's cold weather, rainy days. You
Bro,
want to go outside.
football outside in the cold? That's
Yeah,
everything.
man, it's just not the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that generational difference is just technology. You know what I mean? But the technology is just advancing
Yeah.
every single day. So like the more these kids get born into technology, the smarter they're gonna become.
Yeah, it's
You know
crazy.
what I mean? But it's a computer smart. It's not a common sense smart. If you notice, a lot of these motherfuckers ain't got common
Yeah.
sense. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
I know
lack.
what you mean. It's the street smarts, the trust in your intuition of like, watching people, you know what I'm saying? Like all
Exactly.
of that.
They don't have it. They trust everybody. I'm like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? But
Bring them from Utah to LA for a little bit.
yeah. Oh man, they came out here and we just took them to like the beaches and
Yeah,
shit,
that's the
right?
good thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. You can't take them to the hood because they gonna the fuck is going on in here. You know what I mean? Like they're nice area. They grew up nice. You know what I mean? And they grew up around
Yeah.
women. There's a bunch of girls. I mean,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're a
The
little.
energy's different.
It's soft. It's very soft. Like you could tell, like the masculinity in the household is missing.
Yeah.
Like the strong masculinity. You know what I mean? Like, cause when I go over there, my niece she always says, she's like, they change. Like the moment you get here, they
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 toughen
switch
up.
up.
They toughen
They
up.
switch up, and I'm like,
That's
good,
good.
good, cause then they know, right? Cause
Yeah.
that crying and whining shit, like I laugh at that shit.
Yeah.
I just laugh. I'm like, I don't care, bro. Keep crying. Like, don't
Yeah.
give a shit about that. You know what I mean? Like, cause the compassion. If you're not bleeding, you're not broken.
Yeah.
What are we crying for? You know what I
That's
mean? Like, what are we? You
true.
know what I mean?
Well, and then also like, I think that's a good topic. Guys are gonna have to go up against other men. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's like you gotta know how to
you
compete.
want them to be tough too, and you don't want them to be punks. You know, like you don't want them to go out like punks. You know what I mean? Just
Exactly.
because they don't know how to defend themselves or they don't have self confidence. You know what I mean? To not let somebody talk to them in a derogatory manner or something like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's the main thing I try to do with these kids, bro, is just try to like instill like being a man. You know, especially with the boys.
Yeah.
It's just being a man. You know what I mean? Because the masculinity is going to these women. And these
Yeah, brother.
women are starting to realize that they got power. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
and let them have that power because it's a sexual driven power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that girl who made what she made like 80 million on OnlyFans. That little girl. Like I seen
I
a
don't
little
even
video.
know. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't even know. What is it?
I don't even know her name. She's a little girl, and she made, and I'm like, and she made 5-6 million off one person, and I'm like, what
One
what is he doing?
one person like fell in love.
He's spending money on watching her on a OnlyFans, like $5 million. Like
You do a lot with $5 million.
I'm just saying, like that's just insane, bro. Like you don't got to do nothing. You know what I mean? The way men think nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's wild. You know what I mean?
That's
So that's
interesting.
perpetuating all this crazy activity that's going on nowadays that's being accepted. That's why the music sucks.
Ah, that's good. That's good. And that brings it right back to Son of Hannibal. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like that. We'll give him this. We'll give him this work. We'll give him this boom bap. I wanted to ask you because I know that in addition to being a dope performer and lyricist, you're also an artist. Who did the artwork on Son of Hannibal?
Squad Deadface from
Oh,
Australia.
that's dope, man.
Yeah, he did Broken English too.
Okay, I could see, I could
Yeah,
see
yeah,
some similarities.
yeah. I like. I mean, I do a lot of my own artwork, but you know, every now and then you have to have an artist, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
be able to execute your thoughts. You know what I mean? Like that's how Ultimate Mind came about. I had hit up Billy and I was like, bro, I have this idea of this scientist like operating on a brain. And then I sent him like a sketch that I had found online, like kind of like this, bro, but like, you know, in your own way, like with your own touch, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I got you. He was like, say less. And then he drew that. He's the one that drew Gold Pyramids.
Oh, oh, dope, dope,
So
dope.
at Ultimate Mind, you could see it on my Bandcamp. That album cover is absolutely insane. You know what I mean? But he did the bad guy as well,
Okay,
where
that's
I'm a
dope.
superhero.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so he did that as well, and that was me being like, "Yo, I want to be a superhero, like slash villain. Like I need a Marvel type of character with my face on it. But I was like, I don't care what color I am. You could put me purple, pink. I don't give a fuck. I just want him to be crazy looking."
Yeah.
And and then that's what he sent me, and I was like, "Oh, this is nuts." You know what I mean? But that's just my crazy thoughts just coming to life and being able to pay somebody to you know put them come to fruition and put it to reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and knowing how to work with other people, that's a talent. Like, I like this person's work. You go to different artists for different things. You know what I'm saying? That in and of itself is a curation, right, of their skill sets,
Right, right.
which is
And
really
then
good.
yeah, and then with like loose change, my boy takes those pictures. He does a lot of homeless pictures, and I just like let me get a couple. All right, cool. And then
Oh,
I
that's dope.
make them into album covers, or like, you know what I mean? Like that's it's simple as that. You know, some stuff like Gold Chain Warrior was me messing around in Photoshop, um, and that shit popped out of me putting all these filters and doing all this weird shit, and then I just threw the chains on over it, and people love that album cover, and I was like,
It's dope. Yeah.
I just did that shit just fucking around, you know what I mean? Like not knowing. Emperor's Deity too, where the guy's
Yep.
floating, the little samurai's floating.
Yeah.
That's an actual claymation, like a clay character that I found online, just scrolling through like samurai shit. And I found a little doll, a little claymation doll, and I was like, oh, I could fuck with this. So I put it into Photoshop, started putting all these filters on it, started doing all these colors and making it all weird. And then that shit popped out like that with the black backdrop and him floating. Because he's on like a stick, you know, he's like a statue
Yeah.
that somebody made, a little claymation statue that somebody had made. And I turned it into that. So yeah, it's
Oh,
some stuff works out. A lot of stuff is trial and error.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
For sure, for sure. Not everything makes it, but the ones that
I've
do.
done wild shit. I had this crazy cover with LeBron James on it. That's the single Ice Grill, produced by Pete Twist.
All right.
Featuring my man Alphabetic. Shout out Alphabetic. If you see that, like that's me. Just I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do something wild. You know what I mean? And I put LeBron James' face and I gave him like a ice grill and he like blacked his eyes out. Like, the shit looks crazy. And people are like, what the fuck is this? Like if you go sit online, people are like, yo, this cover is burnt out. And I'm like, but they made you click on it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like it's so burnt out that you're like, what the fuck is that? You click on it and you're like, oh, this song's kind of
You're
dope.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Just ways to fuck around, bro. Like that's I do that shit all the time. It's trial and error with all that shit.
That's
You know what I
good.
mean? But
That's good.
I like creating my own artwork. You know what I mean? But every now and then you need somebody to do what you can't do.
That's true. That's true. You know, we talked about the album you just released, Son of Hannibal, but you got some work that you did last year, and I want to make sure that we get a chance to talk about it. You had Clark Connoisseur's 3, and there's tape 1 and tape 2 with Elo Kush. I saw Elo in here earlier.
Yeah.
Shout out Elo Kush.
It's
That's the collaborator. Look at that. Woo! And all the colors.
part 1, part 2, and part 3.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah. We got the vinyl too. We got vinyl of all of it.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
beautiful, man.
vinyl's all sold out of all 3. The first 2 we did as a double vinyl, a gatefold double vinyl,
Okay,
and
so Cloud Connoisseurs 1 and 2 are on a double vinyl together.
Yes, a gatefold double
Got
vinyl.
it, got it.
And then
I
part,
love that gatefold, man. That I love
yeah.
those.
And then part 3 is a double disc.
Got it.
So it's two LPs on
Yeah,
there.
how did that come together? Because it's a big album, right? You got tape one and tape two. Did y'all just create that much music?
We had a lot of shit left over from 1 and 2 that we still haven't even used. But we used a couple from tape 2. We used a couple from tape 2 on part 3. And most of that shit was just us rhyming and then forgetting that we did so many songs. And then being like, damn, how are we gonna break this down to 11 songs? Because like the first 2 are like 10 to 12
Yeah,
songs, and we wanted to try to keep it that
yeah,
way. And then I fuck it, let's just do a double disc because half of the songs sound a certain way and had like a certain like feel and vibe to it, and
yeah,
the other tape had like a certain vibe to it, like a more melodic, slowed down vibe. You know what I mean? So when me and Kush was putting it together, I told him, I'm like, yo, let's just do it like that. He was like, whatever you try to do. I love Kush because he let me have like creative control
yeah,
without like, I mean, he has his input. Don't get it twisted at all. But he gives me that ability to just be like, I think we should do it this way.
yeah. Like the working chemistry between you and Kush is right. That's why you guys, because not only are you together like on the Clark Connoisseurs, you're on lots of tracks together. Like outside of that
We try,
you roll deep with Kush.
yeah, we try to make a conscious effort to be on every single one of each other's
That's
albums.
dope, man.
Um, because it's a real brotherhood. It ain't even about music. Like I could stop doing music, Kush still be my man. He could stop
Yeah,
doing music, Kush still be my man. I still fuck with Kush when I go out to the East Coast. He come out here, he fuck with me too. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that. That's forever. You know what I mean? We know each other's like peoples and shit like that. You know, I know his whole crew and
yeah.
been down his way. You know, he been out here, so you know what I mean. Like, yeah, we travel together. You know, like that's my brother. You know what I
That's
mean?
beautiful, man.
So yeah, it's more of a brotherhood thing than it is like a musical thing.
Yeah,
You know, what I mean? There's certain people you just connect. You have like the energy is like the same. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's different as me and Kush probably seem to people. We are pretty much like the same type of human. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
dope.
a righteous, no nonsense kind of brother. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, but Kush is burnt out. He's crazy. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like he says wild shit. That's my brother, man. We just have this. We just laugh, bro. We talk to each other. We just laugh. Like it's fun. It's funny. You know what I mean? Like
that's dope, man.
the chemistry is like a brotherhood. You know what I mean? It ain't. It has nothing to do with rap shit. And I think that's why our music comes out the way it does. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And he's good at being like, yo, we should rap about this on this song, Preem. We should do this on this joint. You know, because a lot of times I just like rapping.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if it's kind of like if you got the concept, you can go, and no concept, you're gonna go anyways. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like it's good to have a direction.
And with the Clark shit, it's like some we always had we make a conscious effort to always have like a very uplifting song.
Mm.
That Red, shout out Red from the Vanguard. That's D'Angelo's backup singer.
Oh,
He
damn.
sings he's on all 3 of the joints, all 3 of the albums. And there's always a song with him that's very political or very it's oriented in a way that is on like a topic of righteousness, like
Yeah,
telling the truth and being truthful about things. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And Red sings his ass off. You know what I mean? He goes crazy on those joints. Big shout out to Red, man. He's blessed us 3 different times, man, of
Beautiful.
songs. There's just so much with the Clark shit. Like we're thinking about doing a best of.
What's so dope about it is that it's almost like because you got this trilogy now, this product, this conceptual product, you got all these little snippets of people talking about clocks and like little commercial, a little sample from a song. It's all it's dope.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do it now that we've had 3 of those albums. Like it's so hard to
Right, right,
find
right.
shit. You know,
You use the ones you knew
oh
about.
God, there's so many too. So yeah, it was hard this time around. It was hard. I had to go to find like a documentary and then like find Styles P talking about it and other people talking about it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to find people talking about Clark's. Clark's is a very unique style. You know what I mean? There's only certain types of people that wear wallabies. You know what I mean? And most likely you cut from like there's like a whole new generation of kids that do it now, but they don't freak it right. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain way to do Clarks, you know what I mean? Like to make that shit fly, you know what I mean? So we try to just do that, you know what I mean? We try to bring that element to it. I've been rocking Clarks forever now. Kush been rocking Clarks forever. That's how that whole thing even started. You know what I mean?
But did it happen like y'all were chilling and you had on Clarks and he had on Clarks like that?
Yep. Just like that.
That's so dope.
And
Organic.
Him being like, yo, them cranberry joints is crazy. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then I look down like, oh shit, he talking about the Wallies.
Yeah.
And his shit, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, Wally Dons. And then, you know, like, our crew, you know what I mean? So, and we've been friends ever since we met each other. You know what I mean? That build started that day when we met each other. He was out here with John Robinson, Signs of Life.
Yeah.
They were doing a tour. And I was opening for him. And that's how we met. Yep. And then ever since then, like me and Kush been two peas in a pod, you know what I mean?
So man. The album, the Clock Connoisseurs albums, 1, 2, and 3, they've got like dope colors, right? Can you talk to us like about the colors? Like are those actual Wallaby colors?
Yes. So you have the original tan joints. You know what I mean?
That's volume 1.
That's volume 1. I did the original tan because that's the basic Wally that most people do have.
That's dope.
So this is like a Timberland boot.
Yeah.
So if you fuck with Wallies, this is most likely, even if you're not really a Wally person, this is probably either these or the black one.
Yeah.
It's probably the pair that you have. And then the pink strawberry quick joints was just like, I'm like, Kush, we need a new color, bro. We can't do the same thing. He's like, yo, he like, what color should we do? I'm like, I don't know. So then we started Al 7, who did the cover. I'm like, yo, we need some different color joints. He came back with this. I was like, this is crazy. And then the green ones is you know, the money green ones is because shit. I was like, I got these. So
yeah.
I'm like, you know what I mean? The only ones I don't have is this. I don't have this color. Like personally.
Yeah. You had some dope white ones on.
Yeah.
In a photo shoot you did, I was looking at them. I was like, oh, those.
Yeah, I got the New York.
You gotta put them on for the photo shoot, then put them away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a bunch of them. Man, there's a bunch of them I haven't wore the Sweet Chick joints, the collaboration with Sweet Chick, the waffle looking ones.
Yeah.
I haven't wore those. I got all yellow joints. I got a bunch, man. I got a bunch of shit. I got a bunch of shoes besides Wallabies. You know what I mean? Like I got a gang of shoes. And I like collecting retro shit. I got the Jason Kidd 96. I got the Sean Kemp Kamikazes. I got the Grant Hill 2s. I got the Kobe fucking Crazy 8s. Like I got, you know, like I like old school 90s sneakers. I'm that kid. I grew up in that era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like when it comes to sneakers and shit like that, I like Jordans and whatnot, but you know, I like old retro basketball shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make me feel like a kid. You know, I got the Iversons, I got the 1s and 2 Iversons, I got all that shit, bro. Because when I was a kid, we was poor.
Yeah, man.
I would get like one pair of shoes a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that would be it. You know what I mean? So like now that you know you make
now you can get them all.
I got them all, and now a lot of them are like fuck the Kamikazes, and these is from like 2002, I believe. These is from 2007 when they re-released them. The Grand Hills is old as shit. Yeah, just you know what I mean? Like I've had these sneakers forever too. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to go buy new sneakers all the time. You know, I got so many sneakers that I could just put on. And I like Timberlands, you know what I mean? Like it's just the culture, you know, like brother. If you that time and you were enamored in the culture like that, like you just kind of know it doesn't matter where you from. Yeah. It really does. You know what I mean? If you were into the culture like that, you know what I mean?
And then you know about it.
If you were in a metropolitan area too, you know what I mean? Like big city like LA, New York, Atlanta, anything like that, you could be one of those kids.
For sure.
That's why you have so many hip hop kids now from all over that do dope ass music.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
It's because of the culture. Right. Europe, Japan, South America,
Yes,
right? They all got it.
it's all because of the culture.
Yeah, that's
You
good,
know?
man. That's good.
I mean,
There's another album that we haven't talked about yet that you dropped last year. It's Golden Pyramids,
yeah,
right? Uh, an album. Let's talk about it. You worked with other artists. Let's unpack that joint.
yeah. That's Royal Council. That's the group Royal Council. That's me, Alphabetic, and Oda Great. I've known those brothers forever, man. They're from Portchester, New York,
Yeah,
Westchester County.
yeah.
Um, I had met them. I used to date a girl from over there. So she grew up with them. So I met them years ago, man. Probably like 2012, something like that.
Wow.
11. Um, and I met them and just kept in touch through the internet. And then when I would go out there, Alphabetic would always reach out. And so like I'm like, y'all pull up. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
So I started pulling up over there. First I started pulling up with my ex, who's from out there. We
Yeah,
would pull up, and then we had broke up or whatever. And yeah, I had started just popping up over there because they would hit me.
yeah.
And then they'd be like, damn, you came all the way out here. And I've been to their projects. Like I shot a video in their projects. Project Mind State is
Okay,
from where Alphabetic and them is from. If you watch that video, that's shot in their projects.
okay.
Shout out to the P's out there. That shit wild. But I had a good time. You know what I mean? I like going to the P's like when I'm in New York. Like a lot of people be like, why you be over there? Like I'm like, that's just when I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really bother me. You know what I mean? Some people get bothered by it, the what it is, you know, the lifestyle of the
Yeah.
project. For me, I'm like, shit, I do the same shit, bro. Smoking outside.
I was looking for this.
I'm like,
This is where it's
do
at.
the same fucking thing, bro. You know what I mean? It's really the same thing, bro. So it's just different environments, right?
That's good.
They do the same shit in LA, bro. They do the same shit. It's just hotter outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's the same fucking vibe,
Yeah.
bro. Except out here it's gangs.
Yeah.
But that's
It's like
New York now. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Bloods and Crips in New York.
but you know, LA gang culture is very different.
Yeah.
Very, very, very different. And I tell all my East Coast fans that shit. I'm like, no, it's different out in LA. I'm like, you gotta really watch yourself, bro. You know what I mean? Like, don't get it twisted. You go in the wrong P's, you don't know nobody in New York, you get got real quick. But
Yeah, for sure.
it's a different culture. You know what I mean? Like the LA gangbang culture is just it's intense. You know what I mean? If you're in it.
Some neighborhoods that you don't go to unless you know people and you're supposed to be there.
No, and that's why fools get shot. And they think they could just pull up wherever. Like and I'm like, that's why he got shot, bro. You're not supposed to be over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you know somebody, you're not supposed to be over there. It's not your hood, bro. And they looking at you like fucking lunch meat. You know, you got big diamonds on and shit to a poor kid who has nothing. What the fuck you think he's gonna do to you? You know what I mean? He wants what you have.
Yeah.
I just think fools that pride should be too much. You know,
like, or they don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe it.
That pride should be real, bro.
Yeah.
But that album is with Alphabetic Oda Great. They from Portchester. We've been friends for a while, like I said, and Alpha was like, yo, rapped on all these joints. He was like, I'm gonna rap on all these joints. And he was like, you think you could rap on all these joints? And I was like, when do you need it? He was like, pretty quick, man. He was like, you can knock it out, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh. And like I wrote a lot of that shit fast. And then listening back to it, I was like, I don't really like that verse. I kept telling him I don't really like these verses. I think this shit is whack. Like I thought my shit was whack. Their shit was fire. I was like, damn, these fools are rapping crazy on all these beats. And I had submitted all my shit, and I was listening to it, like, this shit is whack. And they were like, nah, this shit is fire. And then I'm like, I don't know, bro. And then people ended up liking that shit. And I was like,
album.
And I was like, word. But that's
I mean, I can understand as an artist how you're more critical of, you know, your skill set. You know yourself at your best. But that's a dope album.
Yeah, it's a very, very dope album. I think fucking they went in. Like Oda Great was going crazy on them joints. Alphabetics verses, I'm like, bro, you guys are fucking animals, bro. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, them fools had me shook. I was like, what the fuck, dog? how the fuck am I gonna rap on these beats? You know what I mean? Like, and it's not really my style. You know what I mean? Like, it's more like how they want it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because I love those brothers and we do shit together all the time, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's just do it. That's how the shit with Banish came
Yeah.
about. I'm like, we family, bro. We fucking rhyme together all the time. I'm like, we might as well just knock this
Yeah.
shit out.
Yeah. Have some joints together.
So I took the same approach. Like, at least have an album. You know what I mean? You never know. Like, fuck, what if one of us died? God forbid. You know what I mean? But what if one of us died and then we never got the opportunity to have that opus?
And that's real talk, man. Because we're not here forever. You know what I'm
No,
saying? And we always think there's gonna be time, but time shows us again and again
right,
that there's not always time.
right. And I mean, I've been shot. I got shot in the neck 12 years ago.
Oh
So,
wow.
like, for me, like, every day is a blessing. Like, everything is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's why I think I put out so much music, is because I'm like, this shit ain't promised at
Yeah.
all. Like, that's taken real fast. Like, I was this close to being paralyzed and this close to that shit hitting my main artery right here. And
Right, where you can't stop the bleeding.
Yeah, and I would have died instantly. But that shit just hit the back of my neck, came out the side, but it only hit muscle tissue. So,
Wow.
like, I walked out of the hospital the next morning. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Was it were you just somewhere where that happened, or was it like an
Yeah, God,
altercation?
it was it was some shit, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, like, I used to post like every year. The anniversary is January 16th.
Oh,
I used to
so
post
just
my, like,
passed.
if you go look at my Instagram, scroll down it, January 16th, like a couple years back, I'll
Yeah.
post it. Where I'll post a shirt, or I'll post me in the hospital or something like that, and just say thank. And that's on my best friend in the world, Bars Fader. Shout out my brother Bars. That's my best friend since I was 5 years
That's
old.
dope,
Uh,
man.
that's his birthday.
Wow.
So I was died on my
You
best
almost
friend's
fucked
birthday.
up his birthday.
Whole life birthday. Yeah, so we kind of celebrate that shit together. You know what I mean? Like, now
Yeah,
we
brother.
do it together and shit.
What a
So
celebration of life.
yeah, it's like a celebration of life. I just haven't been posting it on Instagram the last couple of years, because I'm like, maybe sometimes I just don't feel like talking about it. Or I don't feel like,
Yeah. In the beginning, it was like, you know what I'm saying, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. At this point, you're just grateful.
yeah, you know what I mean? But I also feel like sometimes you gotta tell your story, you know what I mean? Just let the people know, like, this is why I do what I do, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
why I like rap much, and you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
trying to do as much as I can while I have the energy for it, while I have the talent for it, and while I'm still here. You know what I mean? So,
for sure.
because you just never know, man. But every day's a blessing anyways, you know? It sucks that it takes tragedy sometimes for people to realize how blessed they truly are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, it was good, man. It was a wake up call to give me more compassion about life, and to enjoy, like, nature more, and, like, enjoy, like, the small things. Like, I touch plants now, and touch the sand when I'm at the beach, put it in my hand, you know what I mean? Just different types of shit. Like, take your shoes off, socks off, and walk on the grass.
Yeah.
You know, become one with the earth type shit. Yeah, I think people take that small shit for granted,
For
that
sure.
God has, you know, and it's right in front of us.
Yeah.
And we take that shit for granted, you know. Everything's so superficial now.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
well, like how we were talking about earlier, like, people are living inside of a computer,
right,
in a video game. You know what I'm saying? So, like, or, you know, it's
right.
just to
And
going outside.
And we're already in a simulation. You ain't got to be in another simulation. You know what I mean? Like, you in so many different dimensions. You know, you way out there in outer space somewhere. You know what I mean? Instead of being present in the moment.
Right. At least be in this simulation.
A lot of people just don't live in the moment anymore. You just see them on their phones. They got to be on their phones. They got to be on their phones. Like, with me, if I'm out with family, if I'm doing anything like that, I just don't be on the phone like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when I was with my great nephews and my niece, like, my niece was like, it's crazy how you just don't even look at your phone. You just be, like, living. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm enjoying the moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's more to, like, the phone will be there. You know, these moments that I did with y'all, and it's not always gonna be here. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't live close to them, so You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I like to live in the moment with them. That way they know I'm present. Or at
Yeah.
least if I ever die, you know, my nephews could be like, he was always present. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He
Yeah.
always paid attention. He always gave us game. He always, you know, I always, because I motivate them. I don't let them get down and stuff like that. Like down on themselves, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, throw that shit out the
Yeah.
window, bro. Just
Yeah.
tell them, like, you're so young, you don't even know what life is yet, bro. Just live.
Yeah.
Enjoy being a kid, bro. Because that shit's going to be gone like that. You're not going to be a
Yeah.
kid.
Like.
And then you got to be an adult. And then you got to have then you got responsibilities.
Yeah.
Enjoy being
Yeah.
bro, and enjoy getting everything handed to you. You know what I
Hey,
mean? Enjoy
you
it.
ain't lying.
You know, and I think that they take that shit for granted because, you know, everybody wants instant gratification. You know what I mean?
That's good, man. I think it was just last week. You were out in Orlando,
Yes.
rocking the stage.
Yes.
Talk to us about the event.
Shout out Thirstin Howl.
Shout out Thirstin Howl.
Yeah, he had his birthday bash. He had invited me. He's like, yo, we're doing like this West Coast little thing. He was like,
You got the phone
he was
call.
like, you trying to come out? I'm like, yeah, for sure. And he's like, Kush is on board. And I was like, if Kush is there, I'm
Yeah,
there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's a no-brainer and shit. So, yeah, big shout out Thurston. Shout out to the Orlando and the Miami Lowlifes. Um, I didn't, you know, I'm not from out there. I don't know them brothers like that. It was good to build with a lot of those dudes.
Yeah.
I got to rock the 2L's Up joint. I hadn't rocked that joint yet. So I
See, you
started.
got because that's a dope track. It's a dope, especially for the polo subculture,
Right,
low life subculture.
right.
You got a really dope track. The two L's up. You and E and Big Twins,
Yes,
right? Dope ass LA representing,
yes,
right? And you got to rock that joint in front of that crowd.
yes. And they were all yelling, 2L's up, 2L. I was like, yeah, this is fire. You know what I mean? And it was just my
Yo,
first.
you
I
needed
would have
that for the
I
video.
would
You know what I'm saying?
have loved to do it. I would have loved to do it with Twins and E. If they were there, it would have been real dope. But you know, they weren't there. But yeah, I had to do it. I did it first too. I'm like, let me grab them real quick.
Yeah,
And
let's get the joint hype.
yeah, I'm like they're all gonna be interested because it's one of their songs. It's a song for them. You know what I mean? So I did that shit. They was hype, and then I just started kicking into my shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't think they was ready for me to be rapping like that. I get that a lot though. You know what I mean? Where people are like, damn,
This
he rapping crazy.
motherfucker intense.
This motherfucker rapping crazy. Yeah.
And he can rap.
Yeah, I think it's because my breath control is kind of crazy on stage. Like I could
Mm.
really rap
You
all
be
that shit.
hiking and shit too, right? You like in shape. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
yeah, hit the gym. Yeah, you got to do all that shit, man. I try to tell you can't just smoke blunts. You ain't gonna have no breath, bro.
yeah.
Man. So yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's dope. The how was the event? You know what I'm saying? You had like the whole bunch of uh MCs performing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was Razkaz was there, Tash was there. Kush went on before me, and Kush blazed it. And I had um, one joint with Kush on his set, right? And I'm like, I don't even know the words to the song, fam.
Right,
And he's like,
right. Because well, first of all, I mean your discography is crazy,
right,
right? You have hundreds of songs. You don't have everything memorized to perform. You know what I'm saying?
no,
So you got the songs you perform. You know what I'm saying? But like every verse, you're not gonna know it.
no. And he told me like we was in the hotel like earlier that day, and he was like, "Yo, Preem, you know the words to this?" I'm like, "Fuck no." I like 4 bars. I was like, "Fuck no, I ain't finna go up there and embarrass myself." He was like, "You got something else?" I was like, "Yeah, I could do
Oh
something."
yeah, right. I
So
got something in the back
yeah,
pocket.
so I did that, and that had me hyped because the crowd was like really into Kush's set. Kush killed that shit, to be
Yeah,
honest. Uh,
yeah. That's
uh,
dope.
and then I had to go on after him. I was like, "Fuck, man!" I was hoping I was get to go before your ass. You know?
Yeah. And on top of that, you got Pete Twist up in your ear.
Yeah, and Twitch put fuck crazy. I'm like, "Yo, get the fuck out of here, man!" Like, he's like, he kept every 5 seconds because Thurston was up there talking right. They was giving props to people and shit right before I went on. and he's up there. He's just pushing me. He's like, I thought they was gonna let you rap. They was like, yo, you gonna? And then he was like, come on, Preem, what kind of time?
You on the fire, right?
Yeah, he was like, what kind of time is we on? What kind of time is we on? And I'm oh, I wanted to punch him in his face so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, Twist, you crazy, bro. And then we went up there yeah, he had me hyped, so I was already hyped. And then I just went up there and started rapping, bro. You know what I mean? And I already knew once I start rapping that people are gonna be like, you know, who is this guy? You know what I mean? And then a bunch of people, once we got off stage, everybody was connecting, you know. Got to meet a lot of good brothers out there. There's a lot of good dudes out there, you know what I mean? It's a good little scene they got out there.
You got a good scene in Orlando, man. A lot of talent out there. A lot of cats from New York. You know, Florida and New York at that connection.
Yeah, a bunch of cats from New York.
Yeah.
My man Midas the Beast too. He out there. I got to see Midas.
Midas the Beast is savage.
Oh, that guy's. Yeah, he was sitting out there. He was like, somebody was giving me props, and he was like, yeah, Preem's dope as fuck. And I looked at him. I was like, don't do that, bro. I was like, no, this guy right here, this guy raps insane. I was like, I rap good. This guy raps insane. I was like, he's another level, you know what I mean? And he's like, nah, you crazy. And I'm like, I've done songs with you. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? I already know you could body half this whole industry. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, he has his own style too. It's really, really dope. You know what I mean? Like he does his thing. I love Midas. That's my dude right there, bro. Shout out to him. Yeah, I got to build with him, but I've built with him before in the flesh. So yeah, it was just good to see him. There was a couple people that, like, you know, I had been talking to on the internet or whatever, you know, that I had never met that I got to meet. So yeah, it was dope, man. It was a good night. It went by fucking fast.
That's crazy.
I had a plane to catch the next morning, so it just felt like a blur. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. It felt like that whole day was like a blur. And there's some beautiful women out there too.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, Orlando got some bad bitches. I was like,
you're like, I need an extra day.
Sunny, bro. I had shorts on and a fucking and a top, a little polo top with some wallies on. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like summertime. You know what I mean? Like literally, it felt like summertime. It's humid.
Yeah.
Real humid.
Well, Florida heat's different from California, right? They got that humidity.
The humidity makes that shit sticky and nasty.
Yeah.
And Kush was coming from Jersey, so it's like 20 degrees.
Yeah,
in Jersey,
yeah.
So he was soaking in the sun, and like he was making me laugh. You know, like,
he was getting like getting the vitamin D.
We walked around the downtown area. You know what I mean? A little honeys everywhere. Went to a little Jamaican spot, got some food. Yeah, it was nice. It was a good vibe, man. It was the people was cool. You know, people showed love. Yeah, it was a good situation, and shout out Thirstin, you know, for having me and Kush.
Yeah, that's really dope. I think it was really dope too that they did like a West Coast thing, because there's a lot of East Coast, you know, Thurston's from New York, and there's a lot of East Coast cats over there. It was really dope that they, you know, did that unity within that community.
Yeah, because a lot of the dudes is from New York.
Yeah,
so
a lot of the cats in Orlando, and then you know, like all of that.
Yeah, a lot of dudes is straight from the Bronx, Brooklyn, shit like that, Queens.
Yeah.
Most of them from Brooklyn, shit. You know, the low life culture and shit. But yeah, it was dope, man. It was a good experience. You know what I mean? I like doing shit like that. You know what I mean? I like being able to perform in places where they never probably see me perform. You know what I mean? So a lot of cats knew who I was.
For sure.
But, you know, it's different when you meet people in the physical. You know what I mean? You catch vibes off people. You know what I mean? So
that's good.
Vibe. You know, there was a lot of looks and shit. You know, at first, because you know people don't know who you are, and it's real cliquey. You know, everybody knows each other over there.
Yeah.
So like, you know, people knew Kush, but like a lot of people didn't really know me. You know what I mean? So at first, people was just kind of looking at me. You know what I mean? And then when I got off stage, people was way more personable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's good, man.
And then
that's dope.
And then it became, you know, like, oh, that's him. You know what I mean?
It's like, oh, I know. Well, 2 hours up, right? There's that track too.
Right. And they're like, oh, okay. They, you know, you could put 2 and 2 together. You know what I mean? Not everybody like knows you. You know what I mean? And it's a bunch of grown men. You know, grown men don't like to give props.
Yeah, don't like to give props. And props don't need no new friends.
Right. Like just what up? You know what I mean? That's about it. But nah, everybody showed love. It was a good time, man. Like I said, shout out Thirstin, man. That was dope. You know, he's a Capricorn, Taurus Capricorn, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's an Earth.
that's good. That's good. I'm Capricorn. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's dope.
Earth. You know what I
Earth,
mean?
yeah,
Like so
yeah,
yeah, you know, most of my best friend bars in Vegas, he Capricorn, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I know what you mean. It's that Earth vibe.
Yeah.
My bro, as we start to wrap, I want to make sure that we are, kind of capture what we talked about. We talked about the new album that's out, Son of Hannibal, incredible album produced by Swab, out everywhere streaming right now. Visual for Sins of the Father, incredible joint. One of the joints that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned to you at least is God Particle. I think that joint is so you fucking kill it on that joint.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
that
I didn't think people was gonna like that song.
oh man, that
I
joint
swear,
right
like
there's got such a
some of these
dope
songs,
vibe.
I'm like, dude, I don't
Yeah,
know. You know what I mean? Like a
yeah,
lot, you just make music and then you're like the shit that I always think is gonna, it never does.
yeah,
It never does.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then the shit where I'm like, I didn't even think about it. That shit, all people be like, yo, that song is ill, and I'm like,
yeah,
I didn't even fucking think about that song. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
You were just letting it out.
I just wrote that song. You know what I mean? I wrote that song fast too. I remember writing that song. I wrote like 4 songs that day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I wrote. What else did I write? I wrote Dark Seance. I wrote that joint. I wrote Sins of the Father, and the Dreamless Nightmares.
Same day.
Same day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And only one of them is 2 verses. So yeah, it was just a bunch of verses, you know. And I could do that. Like the 16, that should have taken me like 30 minutes.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Most 16s take me 30 minutes. Complex shit where I have to think about it, conceptual joints or stories or anything like that, that should have taken me longer.
Yeah.
The story one I wrote pretty fast. Got a story to tell, I wrote pretty fast only because I already had the concept and I already had some of the lyrics. So it was way easier to do, you know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of that shit's 30 minutes, man. It takes me about 30 minutes.
That's amazing. That's an incredible talent.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that shit, I've been rapping so long that it just flows. You know what I mean?
Rhymes are complex too. It's not like you're, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like I said, I'm reading or I'm watching crazy.
Yeah.
Watching
Yeah.
interviews.
You got the ideas bubbling.
I'm listening to podcasts, and if I hear anything wild, like I swear, if I hear or read anything wild, I'll highlight it if I'm reading it. If not, I'll write that shit down on my phone.
That's so dope.
Like if I hear somebody say something, even if it's conspiracy wild shit, I'll write my phone, and then sometimes it makes it to raps. Sometimes it's a thought.
Yeah. Not everything's gonna make it into a song necessarily, but you're like collecting ideas.
But I found out, like Ill Conscious, I was with Ill Conscious one time, and he had a book, and it was a bunch of sporadic rhymes and thoughts. And I was like, I'm not the only fucking person that does that. I'm like, oh shit. You know, and then I'm like, that's probably why he's so fucking dope.
Yeah, his lyrics are crazy.
You know what I mean? And he's such an intricate MC is because he pays attention to his thoughts. And a lot of times you think about shit and if you don't write it down, it's gone.
That shit happens to me all the time. I need to take ideas and get them somewhere. I'll be like, what was that idea? Especially if you're lit. If you're lit a little bit.
Oh yeah. I make a conscious effort to write shit down. And sometimes I'll be laying in my bed because I'm not a good sleeper.
Yeah.
I'll be laying in my bed and I'll think of something, I'll hop up, write it in my phone. You know what I mean? Before I lose the thought of it. I'll be like, write it down. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of rhymes come from, I swear. It's just sporadic thoughts. Because when you rap and you're a creative, you just have a lot of things running in your brain at once. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's an overload, sensory overload. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to put it down. You know what I mean? Because if you try to keep thinking about it, you'll fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because I have rhymes sometimes where I won't write it down and I'll be like, I'll remember that. And then I'll be like, what did I say? And then I'll try to get it. And I'm like, I fucking can't remember what I said. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it was so dope, right? And I'm like, I can't believe I lost that thought. You know what I mean? And that shit plagues my brain when shit like that happens.
Yeah.
So I always try to like make sure that I write shit down. You know what I mean? It's the easiest way. That's what I've learned. And that's an advice I would give to any MC too.
Dropping gems, my bro. You're dropping gems.
Write shit down. Like make sure you write it down. I mean, you have a phone, right? Just put it in your notes.
Yeah.
Go take notes and write that shit down. You know what I mean?
That's good. The 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 album you just dropped, Son of Hannibal, available everywhere. But you also shared with us at the front end of this interview the projects you got coming out. You've got, in addition to Son of Hannibal, which just dropped, like last week or a week and a half ago,
Yeah.
you've got three, four, maybe even more projects in the clip about to drop this year.
Yeah, I got Grime and Glamour with Macapella, and that's like I told you, that's a very conceptual album. That's why we called it Grime and Glamour, because it's dark. Like some of the beats is dark, but like I'm rapping fly on it. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So like it's different. You know what I mean? But there's some real songs, like street joints. Yeah, there's a lot of dope shit on there. I got a joint with Hus Kingpin that's crazy. I got a joint with Yolanda Sargent. She's a singer. That's crazy. Joint with Jamil Honesty on there. That's crazy. Yeah. There's a lot of dope songs on there. So I'm excited for that. I think that's like summertime. Around the same time, I'm probably gonna drop my joint with Banish. We haven't named it yet. It's getting mixed right now. Actually, we'll name it and put the artwork together once we get it mixed. But that shit's crazy. I got an EP with Architect that I'll probably drop towards the end of the year.
All right.
I'm gonna put out another single with Midas the Beast and Ralphie Reese. I'll probably put that out next month. I had talked to Midas about that shit when I was in Orlando. And then I got the Beat Junkie shit. And I don't know when the Beat Junkies are gonna do what they do, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. The Beat Junkies album I'm excited for. I don't even remember none of the songs. Rhett sent me his joints and I was like, damn, I don't even remember these. Like yeah, it's different. It's some conceptual songs on there. The shit I got with Babu is crazy. I remember that. I don't remember the lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't know what there, but as soon as I get it back, I'll be excited. But yeah, it'll be dope. You know what I mean?
What an amazing 2025, my bro.
Yeah. It should be fun, man. Like I said though, that's the plan, but some things may get pushed till next year.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
I got 16 joints with Clipto where it's just my one verse on all these beats. We might make a loop 3, you know what I mean? I also have an album that I've been sitting on that I just need to get mixed and mastered with Surplus and my man Flip the Soul Fisher.
Dope.
Yeah, that's Loop Dreams. So I put out the first Loop Dreams like 2013. And we have a second one that I wrote in 2016.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I perform some of those songs sometimes, and people are like, "Yo, this is fire," because they never heard it.
Right,
you know
right.
I mean?
It's not released,
and it's all loops. So it's fucking crazy. Shout out Plus, man. Shout out Flip. Shout out Clipto. Me and Clip got a bunch of shit. Like I said, he did he did half the album with me and Banish.
That's dope.
And then my Chaos from Boston did the other half. Yeah, that's like real loop heavy too. There's a couple boom bap tracks, but it's real loop heavy. I think for as far as boom bap goes, it's the first two I'm gonna put out, which I already put out. Son of Hannibal.
Yeah.
Rhyme and Glamour. It's very boom bap-ish. Real hip hop. You know what I mean? Just hip hop.
Yeah.
And then the rest are like, well, the Architect one is fucking crazy, but that's only 6 songs, right?
Yeah.
Like, we might even push that to make it 10. I don't even know. I haven't really talked to him about it. I just told him like we're probably gonna put it out towards the end of the year, and he was like, "Whatever you want to do, Frank." So I was like, "All right, bet." So yeah, I have so much just in the tuck, man. And then I'm working. I just started working on some shit with this producer. I'm gonna leave nameless for the time being. But I got a bunch of shit, man. It's just a matter of
you working,
strategizing it and putting it like in the right time, right? Everything is in divine timing.
That's right, man.
So yeah, it'll happen. The next one's definitely coming like April.
All right, it's coming soon.
And the Grime and Glamour is gonna come in like April. I'm gonna shoot some videos for it, it's finally actually getting cold right now. It's been the hottest damn winter in forever in California. I don't know
Plus
what's
the
going on.
fires, man.
Plus the crazy fires, man. Shout out to all the people, man, that are affected by the fires, man. I hope everything
Yeah.
is good for all y'all, man.
Yeah.
You seen Madlib lost his record collection and all
Dude.
that shit.
Yeah. I saw the fundraisers
Yeah.
going around.
Yeah, anybody doing anything to help that whole situation, man. Shout out to firefighters.
Firefighters
Shout
are
out to
a true hero,
shout out to
bro.
inmates too who do that.
Yeah, man.
Day.
Bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just it's devastating to our area, man. Big love to LA.
Yeah.
We get through it, it just sucks that it's been such a dry year or so, year and a half.
They'll talk about rain. They'll talk about rain this weekend. I'm like looking around. I'm like, it never rains in Southern California, bro.
It's true every once in a while, right? You're like, damn, sometimes. But remember, like 2 years ago, how plush it was?
It was like crazy rain. It was like right.
So that's like the thing. Remember, I remember El Nino.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, who shut off the water?
Yeah.
You know?
Yo, see?
Like,
that LA, because you heard like that LA 28 whole thing in the Pacific Palisades, and
they're trying to turn it into a smart city. And
and that's the thing that I be saying, like, maybe it's not all true, but it ain't all false either, bro. That's just math. 1 + 1 make 2, bro.
They got the Olympics coming out here, so
they gonna have listen. The Olympics gonna be dope as shit in the new smart city in Pacific Palisades.
Yes, they're gonna have arenas built over there and all kind of random shit.
And it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope, and people ain't gonna remember because we forget. This would be ancient history.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, fucking, it's finally getting colder, so I don't like shooting videos in the heat, man.
Yeah,
because
I got a spot for you. The next joint, because I'm out here by the 6th Street Bridge. There's a really dope spot. It's gonna look good in one of your videos.
Yes, please bless me. I'm always
Because I'd be recognizing some of the spots.
Yeah,
like the joint in Sins of the Father. I drive past there all the time, right on San Fernando.
Yeah, that's my man. My man was like, "Yo, you gonna shoot over here, Preem?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nah, it's lit." I was like, "Word."
Yeah.
And then we shot in front of the old jail.
Yeah, is that what that is?
The Sins of the Father. Yeah.
I know. I drive past that building almost because I go past that like pretty much every day.
Yeah, that's the abandoned jail.
I didn't know that was a jail.
Yeah,
okay. It's a big ass building.
My man used to tag all over there. So he was like, "Nah, you should go over there." And then when we pulled up, I seen the stairs and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we walked up the street, we went to downtown, walked around and just seen all the graffiti and shit out there. It's like any metropolis area, bro. You could just go film anywhere. It's like when I'm in New York, I could just go film anywhere.
Yeah.
When I'm in LA, you could just go film anywhere. If you're in the downtown area, you know what I mean? You could just go film wherever.
Well, LA look good on camera always.
Right.
I don't know what it is. It just always does.
You don't have to worry about politics because you're in the middle of downtown.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about like the gang politics and all the shit that you have to worry about if you venture off a little bit.
Yeah,
nah. You know what I mean? So like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, you just come right. I'm right over in the Arts District.
Right.
So I got spots for you.
Yeah, and it's basically word of mouth. For me. You know, we shot that Grimy Life video, me and Twins. That's like on the way to Vegas.
Oh, dope.
And that's an abandoned water park. So I had known about it because my boys be doing graph, you know what I mean? So it was on my checklist. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, word, you know what I mean? And then fucking next thing you know,
you got a
spot.
Boom. Yeah.
Got a spot. And then it's easy to like, it's easy to do shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's good, my brother.
Yeah, I like I have like a certain aesthetic in my videos. Like even Shotgun Barrel, that's an abandoned old military field thing. It's like from the military. It's in San Pedro.
Oh, yeah. That's what that is.
It's like a bunker in San Pedro. If you watch the Shotgun Barrel video.
Yeah, I know which video you're talking about.
Yeah, and I told my man, like, that's the thing, Turtle, the dude who does my videos. I'm like, Turtle, I'm gonna come swoop you. He's like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? Like, I'll drive us, and he'd be like, where are we, fam? You know what I mean? He's like, how do you find all these places? I'm like, bro, it's just word of mouth. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way to shoot videos is just word of mouth. You know what I mean? Because then
Yeah,
you just find places and then you just make that shit work. And I love like grimy shit, you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
it matches my aesthetic. But I know some people be like, oh, it's graffiti. It's like the same type of shit, you know what I mean? Like people,
Nah, that shit looks dope.
But I'm
Like
like,
I know the building where you shot Sins of Father, and it looks so dope in the video.
right. And you don't know what that is. That could be a project. That could be anything.
Yeah,
You
it
know what
just
I mean?
looks dope.
It just looks grimy. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing. It's like
that
me
joint really been sitting there like that for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't
me
fake that.
and me in fly clothes, and then you're in the grimiest
On
area. Like I
some
just
boom bap and crazy lyrics, can't beat
it's,
that.
it's like perfect. You know what I mean? Like it's perfect, bro. I did a video though with Midas. I'm mad at Midas. I told him when I was in Orlando, but we shot it in this building. It had like this pink room and this yellow
Yeah,
room, and there's a bench painted the same color as the walls, right?
yeah,
And I shot a video in there, and I'm like, yo, man, what happened? It's off of Midas's album, the song we have off Midas's album, and I'm like, yo, what's up with the video, fam? He's like, bro, I can't find nothing dope enough to fucking, you know what I mean? He's like, I can't find nothing dope enough to match it, because he's like, in Orlando, there's not a lot
there's
of
not
white.
right. You could rent. There's 100 different places to rent to shoot scenes in LA,
Bro,
but in Orlando it's different.
yeah, it's different. That's what he was telling me, and I was like, bro, they got that shit everywhere in LA.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Hopefully that comes out, but that was something different. You know what I mean? Like I want to do some different type of videos, but it just depends on the song, really. But
yeah,
most songs that I want to shoot videos for are like the grimy shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's just funner that way. You know what
for
I mean?
sure.
So I'm gonna shoot a couple videos for Grime and Glamour with Macapella, and then we're gonna release that in April. So I'll probably drop a couple joints, maybe like March, probably start dropping videos and shit like that.
That's dope,
Yeah,
man.
and then
That's
I'm gonna keep rolling it out. You know what I mean? Till the end of the year.
yeah.
It's a great grind.
2025 gonna be nuts, my bro. As we wrap up, anybody you want to shout
Man,
out?
shout out everybody that tuned in. You know what I mean? Shout out to Swab for the new
Yes,
album. Big shout out all the features that are on the new album. Those are all my brothers. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah, just shout out everybody tuned in, man. And 1,000, 2,000% shout you out, my brother, for always giving the platform
Thank you.
and just showing love, genuine love. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And we need people like you in the culture. You know what I mean? So it's
Appreciate it.
always an honor, and I thank you so much for always giving me the platform.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. We'll build again soon. You got a lot of projects coming.
You already
Yeah.
know, fam.
All right, my brother. Build you soon.
I appreciate
Salute.
you.
Peace.